Hi everybody, this is JPar, and you are listening to the We Promise Nothing show. Today on the show, we have David.
Hey guys, Dave St. George here, former Talk Nerdy fame, and just weaseling my way into We Promise Nothing, a show at a time.
That's right, eventually he will be in your minds, in your hearts, and in your souls,
Yeah.
as the man from We Promise Nothing.
From We Promise Nothing. That's my goal. That's my career trajectory.
The other man. The other man.
The other man from, I guess JPar's already there. It's a two-man. We're taking a different direction here, but hey, I'm here now. I'm here.
He's here. Whether you like it or not, we got him.
Yeah.
And
you got me.
Today, we are reviewing Jurassic World Rebirth. That's right. So it's the new one that is in theaters. And directed by Gareth Edwards. And it is starring Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, he ain't my friend, and others. Manuel Garcia Rolfo, and others. Dinosaurs, obviously. Starring dinosaurs. I mean, that's the main attraction, right?
Yeah, I mean, it also has Ed Skrein in it. Ed Skrein, who plays generically the jerk in every movie.
Yes, he was in there. Yeah, you're right. He's in there too. Hey, spoilers.
Okay,
we're not getting into spoilers just yet, but yeah, he was in there.
He was in there. He was a nice guy. Well, he was as nice as that. Everyone in this movie was kind of a jerk, except for one guy. One guy was nice. Everyone else sort of awful.
Before we get into it, let's do a little bit of history. So obviously inspired by Jurassic Park, which is a 1993 classic that was directed by Steven Spielberg and written off the idea of the book of Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park.
Yep.
And so what is your experience with the original? Now I know we've reviewed Jurassic Park on here before. I don't think you were with us that time. No. So what is your experience with Jurassic Park?
Listen, man, I was in grade 3 when the OG Jurassic Park came out, and it was fantastic. But to this day, I remember that all my friends who were richer than me got to go see it in the theaters.
Aww.
And I was a poor lad. And, it's wild because I remember they told me things about the movie that were not true. I can't remember what they were today. But I remember they were just making up wild allegations.
Oh, what a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, I know, right? In grade 3, you don't understand how lying works, and the social media wasn't really a thing. So, you just believed everything. There was no reason. So my experience with Jurassic Park was wildly great because the actual movie was way better than whatever tall tales they were saying. But it was great, man. I loved it. And, I wasn't, some of the kids were scared about the dinosaurs eating the people. And I thought at the time, when I was in grade 3, that a Tyrannosaurus eating a man in a toilet was peak of comedy. So they're never making a better movie than this. This is it. This stop. They're done. Why are you even filming anything else? So I loved it. Obviously, it inspired a generation of jokes and memes stay still. It sees movement applied to every situation, or Velociraptors learning how to use doors. I've brought that up many times. So not only is it a fantastic movie, but it has fueled all of my lame humor. Not all of, but a lot of. And I think it's just a banger of a movie.
Yeah, I agree. The original Jurassic Park, obviously great. We reviewed it on this channel before. You can go check that out, folks. One of our older reviews. And yeah, I remember seeing it in theaters. And I just remember it blowing my mind. I was a little bit older. I think I was in early high school, somewhere in there. And I remember seeing just that T-Rex scene, the whole T-Rex scene. When the T-Rex gets out, I remember just being, I was literally on the edge of my seat. I was just my eyes were glued on the screen. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The effects of the T-Rex was so cool. And the first one's so good too because they kind of you haven't seen the dinosaurs yet. It's a while before they show you the actual dinosaurs, right? You've seen a Brachiosaurus or Brontosaurus, which is that big whole Like, oh, they really do
Yeah.
move in hoods. You know, like that whole scene.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that was cool, but when that T-Rex get us out of that cage, I'm like, oh my god. I don't think there was ever like a more intense at that moment there was not a more intense movie scene in my opinion. And
didn't we since prove those long necks weren't real and we just messed that up? I think
they messed up the raptors too, right? Like the raptors are wrong too. They're more bird-like, I think, or something. But
yeah, like chickens. That's fair. Okay, yeah. All right. So it is a movie about dinosaurs coming back. So historical inaccuracy is part of it.
Well, and to be fair, when you talk about what's going on in this one, it almost kind of adds to it a little bit. So yeah, so obviously both fans of this when we were at a young age, and I think this is something that appeals to many people. It's because it's got action, adventure, horror elements. So I think there's lots of people who are big fans of Jurassic Park. I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't like the original Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, it was perfect. It was a slasher movie for people who didn't like slashers.
Pretty much.
At a time where people was watching, you're watching like all these like teen slasher flicks. It kind of early came out, not too long after these. But this was Who's Gonna Die Next, the thrill of this adventure survival thing.
And everybody loves dinosaurs. Kids love dinosaurs. It is a movie, it's a scary movie for kids, as you said, but you saw it in grade 3, and I bet you many kids your age saw it, obviously. You said they did. So, I mean...
All the rich kids saw it. And then it's funny, with seeing this in theaters, I remember seeing some kids who were quite young, thinking, like, younger than grade 3 maybe, and I was like, man, I wouldn't take my kid to this, being a hypocrite, thinking like I don't have kids by the way, but I wouldn't bring my kids to this. And I'm being a hypocrite, wishing when I was in grade 3 I would have saw it. So yeah, I guess because you don't really see a lot of blood violence in this either. You just see people, happen.
The first one's yeah. But now let's get on to go a little bit forward. So there was a Lost World. Obviously, fucking I enjoyed the Lost World.
What? Oh man,
what?
I was not a Lost World guy. I was the third one. Give me that third one.
The third one's terrible.
No, the third one was a banger.
I mean, it's not terrible. I'll take it over like some other ones, but the third one's like really kind of corny. Like the second one's awesome because there is more deaths and there is a higher body count. They're like, oh, who's gonna get it next? Like I was kind of like in the second one, I love it because I'm rooting for the dinosaurs in some situations.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, no, I loved the third one. Second one, maybe, I don't know. I just never found I connected with it.
Love the second one. It's so good. The first two can't be beat for me. Like the third one's corny because the dinosaur eats the phone, and every time they hear the dinosaur coming, they hear it ringing. I'm like, this is corny, man. Come on.
But come on, man! It's better than Islands of Dinosaurs coming back to life. So like, we got a suspension of disbelief a bit. I mean, the kids survived in the island too.
I know that's another unbelievable thing about that one too. So it's just like I don't know if I buy this one.
I'll tell you what thing from the second one that was amazing was the Velociraptors moving in the tall grass.
Yes, that's what I mean. Oh, can you not like? Yeah. Come on, even that guy trying to save in the second one, that guy trying to save them when they're like hanging off the cliff, and then the two T-Rexes comes, he fucking sacrifices his own life. That's not a good scene. That's a great scene too.
It's a great scene. I just overall it didn't zing me, but I love the Velociraptor part.
Yeah,
and
let's move on.
Pokemon and Velociraptors. Okay, I'm done now.
Move on to Jurassic World because there's like 6 of these movies before we even get to this one. And that just shows the popularity of these movies. Jurassic World, like, I don't really want to pick these apart one by one. I just want to say I kind of like the first one. Like I liked the first one, but I really didn't like the other two.
The second one changed the formula. Jurassic World worked because we were back on the island. We were back in the structure that works. Number 2, we're in this rich guy's house. There's a kid clone.
Right.
We're a bit off the plot, and like it could have been something else. That wasn't Jurassic Park, and I found it just didn't have the energy of it.
And then what I gotta say about the last one is that no one died because everybody was a star and everybody was a returning star. Nobody got killed off, and that was boring.
Yeah, I think it would have been a nice end to Grant, Dr. Grant, to be like,
eaten by a raptor.
Eaten by a raptor, man.
You think they should have killed off? Come on.
Yep. Come on. Well, what else is he going to do?
Well, you're right. I mean, I just complained about that very thing, and now you're like, well, kill one of the characters off. Yeah, but do you really want to see that, though? Would you want to see Grant killed off that way?
I would have wanted something to happen.
Well, you're right. I guess you're right. I mean, I would have wanted.
You know what I mean? That would have been a bold move. If they killed off Dr. Grant, I would have been like, all right, you surprised me. I'm. What's next?
You don't think that's going to be like the John Connor effect of that one Terminator movie where everyone's just like, oh, if they killed John Connor, well, the rest of this movie's going to suck now.
No, I don't know. I don't know if he's the John Connor of Jurassic Park, but I think that
would have pissed people off. I don't know that would have worked.
I would have liked it. Bring him back in the next one and kill him off.
Well, they should. I just think they should have more nobodies like this one, where that you could just kill off and nobody gives a crap about, right? So let's get into it. We're going to talk about it now. We're going to talk about Jurassic World Rebirth. That's the name of it. I had to double check just to make sure, because there's so many Jurassic Worlds now, and they don't call them Jurassic Park anymore because they swear they don't want to pay Michael Crichton or something.
I can't. I think it's just the genre. I think it's an age thing, but maybe Michael Crichton's getting less money. Who knows?
I noticed they had like Crichton on the side of a bus at the very beginning. So it's like, we put his name on a bus. We don't need to pay him now.
Yeah, like Michael Crichton's name.
We acknowledged him. That's good enough.
No, I think it's a general. I think they're just like, Park is so 90s. World is so now.
Okay, but why not? Okay, why not give it a new title then? If like the last set was World and the last three before that were Park, why not give it something new?
That's a fair point. I'm assuming because people just make mistakes. I don't know. Well, actually, if you think about it, it's kind of carrying off the old plot.
It is, yes.
Yeah, so I think it's a continuation of the plot in the sense that all the dinosaurs were everywhere in the world, and as we're getting into this one, we learn very early in that all those dinosaurs that escaped have generally died off, except for the ones around the equator.
Exactly.
So I think it's a continuation piece is why.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely ungoogled, by the way, everyone. Like, you could Google this in 2 seconds and find out both of us are absolutely wrong. But, this is where we're at.
No, that's what it is. That's the premise of the movie, pretty much. It is a continuation of the Jurassic World trilogy that Chris Pratt was in. And, of course, Chris Pratt or his character are not in this, or neither are, Sam Neill or Jeff Goldblum or any of the popular actors from the old movies. And you know what? That's a good thing. So, I gotta say, like, this is where the spoilers are gonna start, folks. So if you don't want to, I'm gonna say generally, I liked it, if that's what you want to hear. But I'm gonna start getting into the spoilers now. I'm gonna give you my best and my worst. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you the things that I like and the things I don't like.
Good. All right. Well, that sounds like the format. I think you've nailed it.
Thanks a lot, man.
This is great. We're breaking ground here.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Appreciate your support. So let's just get it. I'm gonna get into my best and my worst on this. So, yes, none of these characters are recurring characters from the previous Jurassic Parks, or Jurassic Worlds, and that is a good thing. That is where this movie succeeds, where the last one does not. The last one they put out is my least favorite Jurassic Park. I wanted to see it, or Jurassic World, whatever you want to call this franchise at this point, but it's my least favorite one because they brought I wanted to see it because they brought all the old actors back, which was cool. But when they did that, it's just like nobody died. Like, I'm like, there was no like, oh, who's gonna get it next? Like stuff like, there was no suspense. You never worried about anyone dying. You're like, all these characters are gonna survive. You're like, it's totally gonna be fine. Even when they're put in the worst situation, you're just like, they'll be fine. And even when the bad guy died at the end, it wasn't even like violent or anything. There was no good payoff. It was lame. I'm like, this one sucks.
JPar came for blood.
I did come for blood. That's right, because I like the second Jurassic Park. And you know what? And that's why I like this one. This one really reminds me of the second Jurassic Park, Lost World. And that's why I like this one, because there is more of a body count. It's a bit more gory. There's more, oh shit moments where I wasn't doing that at all on the last one. Because I was like, they're fine. Even 3 times in this one, I was like, oh shit! I was just like, I thought somebody was done for sure, or just like somebody just gets nabbed out of nowhere, or just the way just someone dies. I'm like, oh, whoa! Like people had some grotesque deaths in this one, and I was like, oh, and I was just, but that makes me love it. Like that's what I like. Like this kind of took. I think it realized the mistakes of the last one, and it took the things that people loved from the first 2 Jurassic Parks, and they kind of, and then they also kind of subverted your expectations every once in a while. They're like, okay, remember this? Okay, good, glad you remember that. Okay, now this is what it actually is. And you're like, oh crap. You're like, okay, then it's something different. So on this one, they get to the island, and this island, they have, what do they call them? Like they're altered dinosaurs, right? So you got like crossbreeds of things.
Yeah. But we've seen this theme before.
We have seen this theme before, but they kind of implemented it, I think, a little bit better this time. So in this instance, I'll give like an example of this, or a couple examples of this. So there's a moment where they're copying the first movie, where it's like you see the Brachiosaurus or the Brontosaurus, or whatever it's supposed to be, right? And they're just like, first they subvert your expectations because you see the long grass, like you said, and you're like, oh shit, raptors, right? And then you see like this like thing come out of the grass, you're like, what the fuck is that? And then it kind of like moves around and ends up being like a really long weird tail on these, I guess, mutant. Brachiosaurus, Brontosaurus, whatever you want to call it. They just have like a particularly long, weird tail, and it's kind of surrounding them, and it looks all weird. So they subvert your expectations there, and then that's kind of like your like Grant moment of like oh, they really do move in herds, right? And so they kind of mimic it, and then at the same time they kind of like they mimic like kind of 2 scenes in that one, one from the first movie and one from the second movie, and they kind of like did like their own thing with it, and they kind of do it again near the end. When you're like, okay, you're at the end of the movie, and in your brain, you're thinking, okay, nobody's been eaten by a fucking raptor yet. Where are the velociraptors? We've seen them in that one scene where it was going to attack the kid while he's taking a piss, and then the pterodactyl just comes and grabs it and flies off, right? And then, so you're like, where's the raptors? And then these creatures show up, and they have wings, and you're like, oh, okay, well, these aren't the raptors, but okay, we'll do it. But as the scene plays out, you're like, oh, they are raptors, but they're raptors with wings. Okay. So that whole scene there is basically from the first movie. So they kind of mimic some stuff from the first and second movie, and they kind of subverted your expectations in a couple spots, right? But I think they did a lot of things right in this that they didn't get right in the last one. I think they knew what people liked, and they kind of went with it, and they also kind of subverted your expectations a bit as well. So I like that they had a cast of new characters, so that way you could be like, I don't know what's gonna happen to these people. Like you knew Scarlett Johansson wasn't gonna die. Like you're like, well, if Mahershala Ali is gonna die, it's probably not gonna be to the end. You know what I mean? Those were kind of like guarantees for you. And you knew the bad guy was gonna die. You know what I mean? You knew Ed Skrein or whatever was gonna he was gonna get it because he always plays a dickhead. You know what I mean? So yeah. But and that's another thing that this movie gets. That's why I like this movie. Ed Skrein, like you said it yourself. He's always a piece of shit in movies, right? And as soon as you see him, you're like, I know this guy. Where do I know this guy from? And even if you don't really know where he's from, you're like, this guy's a piece of shit. But why do I think that? And he just gives that vibe, right?
Yeah, I wonder if he's like a nice guy in real. I'm sure he is.
He probably is, but he's a guy who plays a villain all the time, right?
Yeah. I mean, but yeah. Before I'm not going to get into my good, bad, and ugly, but yeah, he definitely does play a villain, and I don't think he's different in this one. I don't think he is. Well,
because he's a part of the group of Scarlett Johansson's group. Zora Bennett is her character's name, and Duncan Kincaid is the character's name for Mahershala Ali. But he's a part of their group, so he's not necessarily a bad guy, but there's a point before they get to the island where he's saying he's going to shoot dinosaurs. And Loomis, who is played by Jonathan Bailey, has a problem with this because he's kind of the stand-in, like Sam Neill. He's the sit-in for basically Grant in a
Or
way,
Hearn.
because he loves dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's kind of that character, right? So he has a problem with that, of like Ed Skrein's character wanting to just kill dinosaurs for the sake of killing dinosaurs, or because he just doesn't like dinosaurs, or whatever the reason is, right? And maybe if you grew up in a world where dinosaurs kind of took over, maybe you wouldn't like dinosaurs either. But nonetheless, it definitely sets up a character trait for him, and you're like, oh, he's gonna get it, right? And like I said, we're in spoilers. So he's like the first one that really gets it out of this group of people, right? And you know who he is, too. You already know he's a jerk, so even if you didn't hear that one line, you probably want to see him die anyways, because he's got those vibes, right? So he gets grabbed by those, I don't know what, are they plesiosauruses? I don't know what they are. The ones out of the water.
Bitosauruses.
Bitosauruses. I remember, because and they kind of start you off right away on this. Someone dies right at the beginning, which is reminiscent of the first movie too. But it's like, so there's like, okay, yeah, but that guy's a nobody, so you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, this is the thing that sets up like Snickers. It's all Snickers' fault that Jurassic World went under, you know what I mean?
Listen, man, I'll tell you what I didn't do after I saw that. Left the theater and bought a Snickers. I'll tell you that much. I'm never goddamn eating a Snickers again. That's just gonna get eaten by a Bitosaurus. They're all Bitosauruses. They're telling me all these sauruses, and it's all just a Bitosaurus. It's gonna kill me.
It wasn't.
I'm not eating the Snickers.
It wasn't the girl's fault for not putting the numbers in the pad. It's his fault for being for being a litter bug.
For being a litter bug, man, and also eat some healthy. You know what? It wouldn't have done that. An apple. An apple wouldn't have done that. It would have just rolled away. Don't eat a Snickers. Actually, eat a Snickers. Snickers are delicious, but like, you know, come on, man.
No, you don't have to say that. They don't sponsor us.
Yeah, but workplace lunch hygiene, man. Come on, don't eat at your desk. Don't eat as you're gonna go examine
big scary dinosaurs that can grab you with their hands.
Yeah.
For some reason, they got hands for reasons, because they're cross-mutated with rancors or something. I don't know.
Maybe they just wanted to solve the T-Rex high five.
What was
problem.
it? Wait a minute. Why would they just wanted to make fun of the T-Rex? It's like, look what we could do, and they start high-fiving each other, and then the T-Rex are just there sad because they got their little arms.
They're just doing like really cool high fives.
Yeah, and they got to do like little low fives or side fives that look really lame, right?
Barely fives, anything.
Barely, it's barely a five. It's like 3.5s, you know?
3.5, 2-claw side hit. I'm just making these up now, but yeah, that's why. But yeah, no, I think that we saw those deaths in the beginning to really set the tone.
Well, definitely.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm kind of going with this, because like as soon as he gets like snagged off the boat and he gets eaten, I'm like, yeah, like cheered loudly. So I'm like, yes, they're gonna kill them off in this one. They're gonna kill people in this one. Good.
Oh, Jack, people are dying. You're that guy in the theater.
When I go to see a Jurassic Park movie, I want to see people eaten by dinosaurs. And you know what? I know these movies get pretty bad at a certain point, like, because those last two were really bad. But I'm always going to want to see people eaten by dinosaurs. If you do it right, I'm always going to want to see it. And this, I feel, this one is a return to form. So these are the things I'm saying that I like about it. Now, I really enjoyed this. What is my worst? I didn't even think about this. I want to say, like, I mean, they're never going to come up with this brand new concept that's going to blow your mind about Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? They even kind of cover in these movies now how they say, like, how people are just not as impressed with the dinosaurs anymore, and they always, even in this, like, you know, from, like, even in the story, they're saying, like, people are you know, get bored of dinosaurs, they have to, like, cross-mutate them to, you know, to make them more dynamic and have people come see them. Well, that's kind of the truth of what it is with the Jurassic Park movies. It's like, that's why they're doing stuff like that, like making wacky concepts, like cross-mutating dinosaurs and coming up with new dinosaurs because they want to sell more stuff, and they want people to be more interested in their movies, right? Because they don't want to do the same thing over and over again. So I think, and this is like Jurassic Park number 7, you know, for anyone counting. So I'm saying it's like they're never going to do anything that's going to blow your mind again. But it's not this movie's fault. Like, I think this movie did very well with what it had. I can't even really think, like, if I was going to pick the worst, I gotta say it's probably that kid who's like the boyfriend of.
What? Oh,
He's
man.
such a dork. I'm just like, this guy's a jackass.
He is, but man, like I felt that character. Yeah, you know what? At first I liked that character. Now I'm like, that guy wouldn't act like that in that situation. But
he's just such a knob. Like and I feel like in many ways they almost didn't know what to do with the character, because at first they're like, okay, well, he's lazy. He obviously sucks, and then he saves his girlfriend. I'm like, okay, this guy he changed everything for me. Now I like this guy. And then he goes back to acting like a dumbass after. I'm like, oh, this guy is awful. I'm just he wasn't the worst thing. He didn't like kill the movie for me. But if I gotta pick like a worst thing, it might have been him, because it's like it's like I almost feel like they didn't know what they were doing with that character.
That's fair, actually. I'm not going to defend this guy.
Yeah. It seemed like he was a character they wanted to get eaten at first, and then they thought, oh, well, maybe he could be a better character. He's actually brave and do. And then, well, we still want him to be our comedy relief, so he's still a cornball and says all this dorky shit and, like, offers a joint to, like, is she an 8-year-old, 10-year-old? Like, what a dumbass. Like...
Yeah, I mean, I would love to watch
And I don't like that, and I don't like that either. Like, okay, he's a pothead, but why you gotta, like, encourage this negative stereotype?
You defending something, JPar? Are you?
But it's like it's lazy writing, is what I'm saying. It's like when you do shit like that, and it's like we can make him a dumbass for other reasons. We don't need to include that. Like, why would he? Like, here's the thing: why would he offer the kid to smoke weed? That's so dumb. And it's like, oh, you're an idiot. Like, it's like I was supposed to just like you a moment ago, and now I hate you again. I'm like, I can't wait till this guy gets eaten. And spoiler, he never gets eaten.
He never gets eaten, man. Maybe next movie, like, he's this tough commando guy, and now he's like, I survived the horrors of the first one, and now I still have this wild haircut. Who knows? Man?
Like, the bad guy, you always knew he was gonna get it, and he gets it good too. He gets bitten in half.
Yeah.
But before I check out on this best and worst, I gotta say the way that one guy. So there's a guy when they go down into the pterodactyl nest. The way that one guy gets eaten by the pterodactyl, I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, dude, like, why do you have to get it so rough? Like, he actually saved them. He reminds me of the guy who got bitten in half by the 2 T-Rexes in the second one, because he actually throws the rock to save them, to distract the pterodactyl, and the pterodactyl chases him up the thing. Pull me up! And he gets up there, and you see it like in the bird's mouth already, and it like flips him up and swallows him again. I'm like, oh!
Man, I always wonder, what's wild is when I see those scenes, I'm like, what would I be thinking if I'm flipped upside down in a bird's mouth? He's still alive.
That's what I was saying too. He would still be alive inside the pterodactyl stomach. And that's even worse than the dude who was bitten in half by the D-Rex or whatever they call that thing. If you're and you can feel the height too, right? Like, this pterodactyl's flying through the air,
it's done. You're getting, like, that's terrible. That's awful.
And you slowly get eaten away by the acid inside the pterodactyl stomach.
Yeah. Terrible acid. That's awful. That is. I would try to Drax my way out of there and, like, stab. But I don't think I'd be able to.
All right, anyway, so go for it. What's your best and worst?
Thought of that. This is what I think when I watch a Jurassic Park movie. What was me? How would I escape?
How would I escape being bitten in two by 2 T-Rexes?
2 T-Rexes. Okay, so best and worst for me. The best is, I actually think no one in this movie was really a good person, with the exception of the dad and the family. But the crew sent, because obviously the plot is, this pharmaceutical company needs to get this heart DNA or blood sample DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs, because their hearts are the strongest to pump the most blood, and that way then they can make these life-saving cures. Okay, there's a reason we're gone.
And by the way, land, air, and water, that's where all the big dinosaurs are, so that way they cover all 3 of their bases.
Yeah, exactly, because apparently it's different, but that's fine. Like, it's a dinosaur movie, it's suspension of disbelief. But, like, no one's really good. We know the guy from the pharmaceutical company is a jerk. He's paying people to go to Dinosaur Island, and it's established quite early on that it's illegal to go to Dinosaur Island or any of these dinosaur islands. So it's an illegal operation. He hires someone who agrees, Scarlett Johansson, to go to Dinosaur Island for a lot of money, and he hires this paleontologist who's a museum curator who's been advising to also go to illegal Dinosaur Island for a lot of money. Now, and we meet her crew, former Blade. Why is the name
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
His character's name is Kincaid and Duncan, if you want to keep it simple.
Fair, Duncan Kincaid. Ed Screen and all that. And they're not great. They're not evil either. They're not bad. They're just okay people trying to do their best in a weird situation with different motivations. I found that very interesting because in every Jurassic Park movie, obviously, there's some very clear, you're clearly evil, you're clearly good. Like take Lost World, the first one. They're so jacked. There's that one character who's so jacked about turning the Velociraptors and weaponizing.
Yeah, I like him.
But that guy. Well, he's clearly evil. He's clearly evil.
Oh wait a minute, which one? The first one? Jurassic World, you mean?
World.
Sorry, my bad. I thought you meant Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's the character who plays the Kingpin in Marvel.
Oh, yeah. So that's Vincent D'Onofrio is that guy.
Yeah. So he's this guy who wants to use the Velociraptors for evil. So like, there's clearly no good or evil. It's a very man versus nature. Not man versus corporation, not man versus science, not man versus man. It's a very clear man versus nature story, and I think it being that sort of classic survival adventure story of ambiguous good and ambiguous evil really lets you just get into the dinosaur aspect of it, and it does so very well. One of my favorite scenes, another good, is that boat scene in the beginning. I'd watch an entire Jurassic Park movie just at water. I love it. Like it gave me Jaws vibes.
There was a lot of that in this.
Yeah, there was. The beginning. It's almost like so much. It almost felt like two different movies, but it did blend it well because with the crash and finding the other family, because the other subplot is this family going on the vacation, like you discussed, with this douchey boyfriend tagging along on this sailing vacation, and there are canary in the mine. Like if they think the group is doing something good, then they're like, that's a great idea. If they think the group is doing something bad, and they say you're evil. So like that's how we know the actions is through their eyes.
That's a good point.
And that's great. That's a great role to be because now I don't have to wrestle the morality of it. It's with a group of people who are ambiguously good or evil. This family's going to help me know, and I don't got to think too much about it. But it doesn't treat me like an idiot either, because in other Jurassic Parks, Grant is very good, and the guy who screwed over the electric fences in the first one is very evil, but this is ambiguous, and I like that. I love the boat scene. I thought that was fantastic. I really, really did. I like that there was sexual tension without there having to be like, we're on a dinosaur, just hook up. I'm not. I don't mind. Because Scarlett Johansson and this paleontologist obviously have the sexual tension, and I don't mind sex in a movie. I'm not a prude. I just want it to exist to further the plot.
You want sex in a Jurassic Park movie?
Well, listen, I'm okay. All right,
you've been watching too much Game of Thrones, man.
I'm just saying that I like that they went there without being like, well, we just met. Clearly, we're in love forever now.
You're saying, so the romantic interest. You're happy that they didn't just like kiss at the end of the movie. Like, well, we kissed. That's the end of the movie now.
It was exactly. It was so much more than that. And I really enjoyed that too. I was so shocked about how much I liked this movie. I went in thinking I wasn't going to like it. I went in. I took my mom to this, and that's how I saw it because she likes Jurassic Park movies. And my mother is this 70-year-old woman who doesn't have a lot of understanding of how the world works, but she understands dinosaurs. Probably because she's so old. And she's like, "Hey, those were my friends," and she loved it from start to finish. And I think that was really great because like I had my misconceptions. My mom was like, "That was great. Remember when the Velociraptor got him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, that actually was pretty good." So I was really surprised how much I enjoyed it. I think that the pterodactyl scene was amazing as well. That was probably the most intense scene for me, was that pterodactyl scene when they are trying to get the pterodactyl egg DNA. And that for me, like there was the scene where the family was eaten by the T-Rex when they were getting that raft, that I didn't fully understand that scene. but the scene where they're getting the pterodactyl was amazing. My least liked, and this is a weird one, is I had a hard time wrapping my mind around this island. I know it was two things. It was simultaneously one of Inogen's secret laboratories, right? That's established in the beginning.
Yeah.
This is secret laboratory. We're doing genetic experiments that we shouldn't even be doing. These events took place in 2008, so we're getting ready for the new Jurassic Park World release, grand opening, I guess. But there's also a staff store there with Snickers and sweatshirts you can buy, and like, who's working this staff store? I didn't know. Like, that guy got a Snickers from somewhere, and we see the staff store in the movie. They're hiding in it when the Raptors are hunting them in the staff store with old sweaters and novelty items.
Well, so there is a convenience store down by the lower. It seemed like down by the lower area, right?
Yeah, but that is filled with Inogen Jurassic Park stuff.
Okay, I didn't notice.
Yeah, it is, and all the vehicles are electric, which they established earlier. Inogen used electric vehicles. Like, it's not a store for people who live on the island. No one lives on this island. It was a store for the secret facility. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. This is high. Like, who's bringing these shipments of Snickers? Who's signing off on this? Like, all right, here's your 50 novelty sweaters that says I got bitten by a velociraptor and all I got was a T-shirt. Like that's the part that like took me out of it, especially because they were like so much of the end of the movie took place there in this power station. Which was also near the staff store, and that kind of took me out of it for whatever reason. I did. It was filled with drinks. There's Pepsi and cola. And I can't get over this. So I did like the movie, but that kind of took me out of it a little bit. I did like all the deaths. I did like how the rich guy died because I hate capitalism. But yeah, that was probably the least liked for me, which is wild because so much of this movie was so good. I enjoyed it from start to finish. The only thing was that was incongruent for me. But yeah, I loved it. Top notch, top marks. Great Jurassic Park.
Where does it place in your ranking out of the 7 Jurassic Park movies?
Oh, well, definitely above 2, just to start that feud again.
Damn.
I know. I don't know why I attacked you. I felt like that's.
I think that's just unnecessary hate for 2s. I think 2 is great.
I was absolutely uncalled for. I walked that back. I mean, it is what I think, but
it is what you think. But
yeah, I mean,
where are you on where's this one?
I would say this one was probably. It would go, obviously the first one, the third Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. And then this one, so 4th best.
Okay.
Out of the 7, which is good.
Yeah,
which is good.
No, that is good. I mean, because you're talking about 7 movies, about something that is a popular franchise, but and I think everyone can agree the last 2 weren't that great.
No, and like I said, the best Jurassic Park movies for me are the ones that go back to an island.
Yeah,
and I get it. Agree. We're running out of reasons to go to an island. There's only so many dinosaur islands.
Yeah,
but hey. I'm also watching a movie about dinosaurs coming back from prehistoric times.
It's a return to form.
It's a return to form. Yeah, exactly.
And
what about you? Where does it rank for you?
Well, that's I think because it is so much a return to form, and it also subverted my expectations a few times. It didn't like blow my mind, obviously. Then that's what I said. Like none of these are really gonna blow your mind. But there's stuff I seen in this one, and there was like really good, intense scenes that I seen in this one that reminded me of the first and the second, and plus there was like a body count. There's people who actually died. They had a bunch of nobodies that were able to just get eaten by dinosaurs. You're like, yeah, like it didn't matter if they're a good guy or a bad guy, like you said. It's just like, yeah, we want our blood in these dinosaur movies, right?
Yeah. You came for blood. JPar specifically came for blood.
Tell me a good story too. So honestly, and like you said, you enjoyed it more than you thought you were going to. I enjoyed it more than I thought it was going to. I think it's third. I think it's my third favorite Jurassic Park movie.
I got no beef with that. I absolutely have no beef with that. I think that is a good choice.
It might be tied with Jurassic World, but I think I like this one better than the first Jurassic World with Chris Pratt because this one, it felt more like 2. Like I felt it really felt like 2, and I really enjoy 2. Like the first 2 are my favorites, and they're my favorites for different reasons. I enjoy the first one the best because it established the whole thing, and I felt there was more I feel like there was more suspense involved, and I feel like the second one is kind of, just kind of scarier in some ways because there's more like deaths and more. Anyways, I just thought this was really reminiscent of the first two, and it felt more like a return to form, and that's why I want to place it at number 3.
I think that's fantastic, and I think the only thing is I just like Jurassic World a bit more, just because I like the world building. Mm-hmm. But if it wasn't for the amount of world building, this would be number 3 for me, for sure.
And I do like Jurassic Park 3, but probably like Jurassic Park 3 is, I think it might be tied with World, or maybe I like World a little bit better. I don't know. They're kind of tied in a way, and then I just don't even like the other two. Like I don't even really like those two.
Right? You know what? You can't have 7 movies and all of them be bangers.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is just the way it is. You know what I mean? Some of them just make enough money to justify making another movie. They're on all. Not every Alien is Aliens 1. Not every Jurassic Park is Jurassic Park.
But I feel like these Jurassic Park movies have that effect with like Alien and Aliens, where the first one's more like a suspense movie, and then the second one's more like action and like more gore and stuff like that.
Man, we can do a whole 3-hour podcast on that topic, and I would get into it. But yeah, I agree with you. It changes in tone for sure.
All right, so let's get down to it. We are going to rate this movie out of 5 stars, and I'm going to let you go first this time.
I spoke very highly of it. I liked it more than I thought. I liked that it had a very talented ensemble cast that wasn't very polarizing. Like I saw characters' growth, I saw characters change, I saw uncertainty. Scarlett Johansson's character was a bit uncertain. I see some development.
Oh yeah, she's just playing the Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say this right now. She's basically just playing the Black Widow in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson just plays Scarlett Johansson at this point, and that's cool. Sometimes you're rich enough to do that. She can rock that. I got no beef. I know what I went in for.
Me too, but that's kind of what I went for. I was like, oh, it's going to be like Black Widow in Jurassic Park. All right, that's cool. I'm in for that.
Yeah, I'd read that comic crossover. I think that comic crossover might even exist, Avengers versus dinosaurs. At least the Godzilla, for sure.
Well, I mean, all they got to do is go to the Savage Land. I'm sure they fought some dinosaurs at some point.
Right? Exactly.
We know the X-Men have fought dinosaurs.
Yeah, if the X-Men have fought dinosaurs, then Black Widow has absolutely fought dinosaurs.
Probably at some point.
Probably at some point. Anyway, that's a deep dive. But so plus I love the subplot with the family, that they were sort of this. They were effectively used as the canary in the coal mine for like good and bad barometer on top of all of the dinosaurs, attacks and deaths and suspense. I give this a 3.5 out of 5. The only reason it's not getting a 4 for me because I found that there wasn't like a huge twist or anything. Like I wasn't it ended the way I thought it was going to end, and that's fine. I enjoy that, but it wasn't like, oh, it didn't take me to a plot. I was surprised that I liked it, not surprised about the plot. So a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. Well, I am actually going to give this a 4. I didn't think I was going to rate it so high, but I really, one, there's a need to go back to movies like this. Like I want more movies that are more traditional, like as opposed to kind of what we've been getting. And I think this is truly a return to form for the Jurassic Park movies, and I think this movie understands that it's not going to reinvent the wheel, but if we can at least have some fun and give you some good dinosaur deaths, then maybe you'll enjoy the ride. And I think that's what this movie understands. And it does it well. And it does it so well that it makes me want to put it 3rd place for my Jurassic Park movies, because there's enough suspense, there's enough it's like there's a lot of good scenes that I didn't even talk about. There's a lot of intense scenes that I thought could have easily fit into the first 2 movies, and that's why I really enjoyed this. That's why I give it a 4.
Fantastic. I can't argue that one. That's I think you're spot on that, based on I know what you like, and I think this is perfect. And I think people who want that blood, want that angel, are also gonna like it with a 4. I think you're really tied in on this one.
Right. But it's not just like the blood too. Like I found something I noticed too when I watched it the second time is that some of the previous movies kind of lost the heart of Jurassic Park. This has the heart of Jurassic Park. I find that one scientist, he's kind of playing like Sam Neill. He's like a kind of a mixture of Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill's character in a way. because he's really smart. He has like those theories and things that he says to like to the one rich guy. Remember that he's saying like being smart is highly overrated. Remember how he explains that to, and then he basically explains like the scientific reason behind it, and you're like, oh yeah, and then he basically quotes like George Carlin after.
Yeah.
And then so there's like him, right? I feel this one has more heart compared to the last two, because he's one of those characters that has heart, and it also has this whole idea of just like, like you said, it goes back to like, let's give this cure away to everybody. Like, well, let's not. It goes back to like the evil corporations, and I think single one of these movies has like an evil corporate guy that gets killed eventually or whatever. But it's like
as they do.
Yeah, but it's like it has it's that whole idea of trying to like help the world instead of like trying to just make yourself rich, like. So I mean, the heart is there, and I'm not saying that the other ones were lacking that kind of concept, but I don't know why. It just felt a little bit better. Like when that guy, what's that character's name? When he the scientist, when he like runs up to the basically the brachiosaurs or whatever the heck they are, because they're mutants. I don't know what they are, but they're mutant as shit. That was the one line that kid had that was actually pretty good. Xavier was the name of that character, played by David Iacono.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so but he goes up and he like hugs the whatever it is, right? Like whatever you want to call those things, the brachiosaurus, the mutant ones. Like he's got that heart of that. I feel like somehow it's kind of captured that. It's not going to capture it all the way, because it's as I explained in my worst part about these movies, you're never going to capture that same moment that you can capture from
lightning in a bottle, man. Yeah,
exactly,
sure.
Exactly. But I mean, I think it's more in line with what the originals are thinking, as opposed to just trying to churn out this like, oh, it's time to make another Jurassic Park movie, guys. So what are we going to do this time? And I felt like it was like they put more thought into it this time, and they made sure it had the family is another good point of the heart that I'm trying to explain in this movie. Like, because the father is a very intricate part of this movie. That's the whole other side story. And in a way, he's also kind of like Sam Neill's character, where he's going through this jungle with the kids, right? So he's trying to survive with them as well. And that's... So I found it had more heart. I found it knew... I think it knew what Jurassic Park's strengths and weaknesses were from the previous movies, and I think it played it up well.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you really nailed it.
And I think that's all I got to say about it. Anything else that you wanted to mention?
No, I think this was a great addition to the series. It gives me hope for the next. I just hope it doesn't follow the same pattern as the three movies before this. I hope it doesn't bring it back to the island. Bring it back to the overwhelming odds. Bring it back to the underdog man versus nature story, and I think they'll be successful. I'm curious. I hope the next one is pretty good. I look forward to it.
Yeah, because I think they're going to be carrying on with these characters again, from what it seems, right?
No, you don't get Scarlett Johansson for a one and done. No, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like you said, the relationship they built between Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey's character is it feels like it's a part one. And like they're probably connect on the next movie or something, right?
Yeah, it's developing for sure.
Yeah, and I thought, and here's something I'm going to say about this, because there's a few other scenes that I thought were really good. They kind of subverted expectations. One scene I just want to mention, you're mentioning the raft scene where she's dragging the raft across the dock. That was intense. That was really intense. And then that whole scene was kind of intense, where they're being chased by the T-Rex down the river.
Yeah.
And then there's a part where the father, he swims basically just nearly gets grabbed by the T-Rex's jaws. He's swimming through the water, and I thought that was such a cool scene to see it from that angle. Like, they did a lot of stuff like that.
Was good.
Yeah,
was good. Yeah.
They did a lot of stuff where you haven't seen that done in another Jurassic Park movie before, and it made me go, "Oh, that's neat." So there was things like that. And then and near the end, the other one, so he's calling the helicopter, right? And he shoots the flare off, and you kind of see the big D-Rex. By the way, before we get into further, what the hell was the D-Rex crossbred with?
I think a tiny little man. I think several tiny men, tiny little arms.
You think it was?
I don't know.
You think it's a human that it was crossbred with?
No, I have no idea. I just think they.
Was
just,
it
I
a
don't-
rancor? Like, because it looks like a rancor from Return of the Jedi.
It was terrible, man. Terrible.
So they crossbred a T-Rex with a rancor from Star Wars, and that's how you get your D-Rex, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, he's got a big D-Rex.
That's funny.
Anyways, so he's calling the helicopter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the light through the smoke, and you're like, oh shit. You even think for a moment, like, wouldn't it just be funny if this thing just grabbed this helicopter out of the sky, and then you even think, is it big enough to do that? And as the light comes in, you see the helicopter in its mouth. I'm like, oh, they did it! They did it! That made me laugh. And he even just throws the helicopter aside. Big explosion. Didn't just fucking have it in its fucking jaws and crush the pilots and people inside. Just threw it aside. Big explosion. Like, wow. It's like, you guys were looking for help to get off the island? Like, fuck you! And then, at the end, Duncan sacrifices himself, Mahershala Ali's character. And it's kind of one of those things you're like, oh, because he says a part in the movie where he's like, if I was stuck in the jungle, I could just live underwater forever. I would survive anything, he said, right? And like, I remember that sticking out when he said that. And then he risks his life at the end to save them. He wards off the D-Rex so they can get on the boat. And they don't really show you like him getting eaten. And you're just like, but you kind of like, you almost kind of just think he's dead anyways, and maybe they didn't show you just because he was a liked character, and maybe and you're just like, oh well, I guess, you know. And then even in my mind, I was like, well, maybe they could make the next one about them coming back to get him or something. And then you see the flare come up, and you're like, oh shit, he's alive! I'm like, yeah, go get him! You know, like, I'm feeling myself cheer for this movie, you know what I mean? Which the last two did not have me doing. Like, I was screaming, I was like, yeah! When someone's getting eaten by a dinosaur, or when they went to go save him, I was like, yes, go save him! You know, so this one made me feel again. This one made me care about the characters. Great. Yeah. And so when they actually save Duncan at the end, spoiler, you know, he just like, that's earned. That's something that's earned. And that's something that you don't get with the last two movies because you don't care about the characters. Mm-hmm. And when I started watching this one, I was like you. I was like, I don't give a shit about any of these people. And, you know, but as the movie goes on, you actually kind of start caring for these characters. And that's why, once again, I really like this one. They gave you all new characters, and they made you actually care about some of them. And they also gave you some that were not important enough so they could get eaten by dinosaurs, and you just go, yeah!
Yeah. That was good. No, man, I think this was great. I think they really found the magic. They found the magic, and I hope they keep it. I hope they know the spell now. Just keep working it.
Yeah, I don't know how well it was received. It doesn't seem like it got a very good rating on IMDb, but I hope more people check it out, and I hope it's more in the line of what people like because it's what I like. So I would like to see the Jurassic Park movies go in this direction. Just give us more of what we like instead of trying to go crazy with these new concepts all the time.
Absolutely.
All right, anything else you got to say about this movie?
I think this is it, man. I think I've said all there is.
All righty. So this is JPar signing out. Say goodbye to the fans.
This is Dave signing out as a soon-to-be Weasel My Way member of We. Thank you for listening, and keep your Biteyosauruses at bay.
Keep those Biteyosauruses at bay. And, you know, you can leave a comment below to let us know what you think of the new Jurassic World Rebirth. And we're going to take a look at that. We might reply. We might not. In the end, we promise nothing.
Nothing.
Good night.
Good night.